Hi guys, and happy Friday. Yes, today is Friday and it's June 17th, and I'm trying to do this video quickly before I have to sign in to my workstation and start work for the day. But I'd seen this card on the internet and I remember doing it a long time ago. Let me set it up like that so you can see. So it can set up, oops, it's not going to set up very good here because my desk is crooked, but it's one of those layer cards. And I've been practicing since 4 this morning because my dog woke me up and now I can't get back to sleep. So I've been working on this and I think I've got it down to where you can do it. I'm going to leave this on here for a second. So if you want to go ahead and take a screenshot, go ahead. But I'm going to grab some cardstock and I'm going to be using the polished pink. And for the background or for the base piece, we'll figure that in a second. But we're going to use, you can use a regular piece of cardstock, but I like using my 4x12 layers. So I'm going to leave this over here so you can kind of see it. Let me see how far I can go over without it being off. So you can see it as we're doing it. But the first thing I do is I cut it down to 7.5. So it's going to be 7.5 by 4. And we're going to go just like that. You can use this later. Okay, so then we're going to, you don't need that arm anymore. So now we're going to score at the 4 1/4 mark. So that's right there, score at 4 1/4. Now on your cutter, you're going to keep the score part at the bottom. All right. And at your 3.5 inch mark, so you're going to move this all the way to 3.5, you're going to cut from 1.5 to the score line. So your score line's right here. We're going to get that ready at the 1.5 mark. I got to put it down so I can see. So there's our 1.5, and we're going to go all the way down here to the score line. All right, easy peasy, right, so far? We're going to move it in 1 inch, so we're going to go to that 2.5 mark. And again, we're going to go from that score mark to up back to 1.5, which is right there. We're going to move it in another inch to 1.5, and we're going to cut down from the 2.5. So we're just adding inches here everywhere. So here's the 2.5. We're going to go from the 2.5 down to that score line. All right. And then one last cut, we're going to go in at the 1/2 inch mark. Make sure it's lined up good. And at the 1/2 inch, we're going to go from 3.5 inches down to that score line. All right. And some people put like another cardstock or a piece of cardboard under there so you don't go past that line. I'm not too worried if it goes a little over that score line. It's not going to ruin anything. So you have these 3 marks now. So now on this bottom section, we're going to place this at 5 1/8. So see, this is the bottom section. We're going to go at 5 1/8, and we're just going to score between those 2 lines. All right. Then for the next panel, we're going to go into 3 7/8. And we're just going to score between those 2 lines. And then finally, the final panel, the top panel, we're going to go in at 3 1/4. And we're going to score between those 2 lines of that top panel or that top strip. All right, so that's kind of what you have so far. And as you can see, some of those lines score lines aren't really great. So let me go here at 4 1/4 and just bring that all the way down to that line. Okay. So, oh, and look. Oh, I did cut it all the way there. It looked like it wasn't cut all the way. All right, so let's go over here. And now you have to kind of gently manipulate this. And I'm going to show you, we are going to use the cutter for one more thing, but I kind of like to pre-fold those. So now you're just going to push up from behind You always feel like you're going to wreck it, but you're not. All right, is that cut all the way? Yes. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me get a little more fold there on that one. So I'm going to come ahead. Oh, that didn't like. I might have been a little off on that fold. So let me get that straight. No, the fold is right. I don't know why it's being difficult. Cardstock's being difficult today. All right, so make nice score marks. I think that last cut I didn't do the greatest. So nice score marks there. If it's a little folded like that, no big deal, because we're going to cover it up with cardstock. All right, so I'm going to go on the back, and I'm also going to fold all of those. Score those. And this last little piece here, you had to kind of manipulate yourself. Okay, so now this is what you have. All right, so we're going to take some, let me go grab, I think I'm going to do the butterflies on this one. All right, so we'll use different little butterflies. So on this panel, if you notice, and this is where I take out a ruler, because every little fold's going to be different. Oh, sorry, and the last thing I want to tell you is when you fold this, it's going to be more like almost 6 inches. So then I like to cut, I want to make sure I'm more than 5 1/4 that way. I like to cut so there's not as much of an edge there. And then I'm going to flip this around and cut this down so it's at 4 1/4, because this is going to be a layer. So now when it's folded, and I don't have you cut it, you could say, Roxy, why don't we just go 7 inches at 4 inches? Depending on how you fold, this might turn out a little bit differently. So now we have that at 4 1/4 by 4, which is our layer. All right, so here's where I take a ruler, and the score part should be 2 inches. Now, see how that's 2 inches? And I want to cover that full thing. So I'm going to go 2 inches by 4 inches for this piece. And I want it to be this way. So I'm going to go 2 inches this way, 4 inches this way. I know, it's going to keep falling down over there. Now, if you don't want it to be completely covered, you don't have to. All right? If you want to, on my example, where did I put my example? Did I show you my example? Here's the original example. I didn't do any extra decorations. So I'm going to leave that at full strength, or full strength, a full layer. I'm not going to make it a layer, like a 4th in layer, an 8th in. You can if you want. I'm going to make it so that it covers that whole section. And that's why I said, if you have some little score marks there, it's not going to be that big of a deal, because you're going to cover it up at the end. All right, so let's go ahead. And again, use a ruler here. This should be about 1 inch. But like I said, with the way it folds, it may not be. So I'm just going to do a hair, and all these should be 1 inch. I'm just going to do a hair under 1 inch this way. Well, let me do my 1 inch this way first. You know what? And I'm just going to go a hair under that 1 inch, like a 1/16. And I'll do like a 16. No, I'm going to try. See what that looks like. Oh my gosh. See, then you can butt it right up. If you want to cut it down a little bit more so you can leave an edge, feel free. I'm going to do it like this because I want to cover up any of those score marks I may not be happy with. Okay, so let's measure this next one. So that is at 1, and it looks like 5/8, because it's just an 1/8 over that 1 1/2 mark. So let's get a different one. Let's do this one. So again, it's going to be 1 inch this way, but I'm just going to go a hair under it. And then we're going to go 1 5/8. There's extra 1.5. I might have to trim it down another 1/16. We'll see. Nope, I like it like that. We'll leave it like that. I know I'm doing my Stampin' Seal on my cutter again. And your last panel. So this is just a hair under 3. So I think I'm going to do this one at 2 7/8. And this last one, let's do this. So let's go 1 inch. And then just a hair under 3. I want to get that full butterfly in though. So let me trim a little bit down here first, because I'm going to go a little over 3, because I want that butterfly to stay in. So I'm going a hair under 3. So you see, I didn't want to cut off that butterfly. So let's see how that looks. And I like it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. My tape's under here somewhere. Okay, now since we have so many bright, nice colors there, I'm going to come over here and grab my Parakeet Party. Yes, I know, it's not a legacy one. I've been trying to focus on the legacy colors, but I like this color. So this is going to be a panel card. By a panel card, it means it doesn't fold. Your base doesn't fold. It's just a panel. So we're going to go at 5.5. 4 1/4, and there's your panel. Now I know right now you're saying, but Roxy, I don't have a lot of places to write. You can always, if it's a lighter color, write on the back. Oops, got a little something on it. Or you can layer some basic white there. So let's go ahead. Now here, listen to me on this part. You want this part to move. So you don't want any of this lower part to have tape on it. So what I do is, this is the part that I want to be solid and stay down. So I put just a little dab there, and then I run like this. Because I know these are the parts I want to stick down. All right, so what I do is I line it up on that side, a little crooked. And if you want to, like I did here, this I used, where's that? Go to Greetings. Let me see, where is it? Here you go. Go to Greetings, because it has those 3 different fonts of the same greetings. For the thinking of you, just a note, and thank you. Then you have a little extra hello. But it's kind of fun to make that, and then you can put your little embellishments or whatever there. So here we have this. I might add some of the brushed brass butterflies on here, put a little greeting here, and there you have it. You have your fun little fold-out card ready to go. And I guess if you want to, you could make this a little bit longer, hair longer, so that it would stand up. But it's just a fun card, gives you that pop-out effect, and gives you that like stair-step cascading look. All right, guys, thanks for joining me on a Friday. Have a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow.